One of the improvements I do to the hood is because the two panels are glued together, the glue breaks. So these pieces rattle between each other. Also, these sections right here were initially designed to have insulation so the engine heat doesn't cook the hood and the paint. So first thing I do is I take the S30 pure polyurethane and with a caulking gun, every seam and every gap I run through and I fill. The problem is there's no way to clamp this together. So what I do is I lay a thick bead in, and if you have to, usually don't have to because it's usually loose. Just take a little pry bar or a screwdriver, put it in here, separate these a little bit more, and with the gun, shove and caulk it in. So later we're going to be clamping it, and this stuff will bead out. So I've now put the beads through everything. Now what I do is I just go through and smooth it all out. These middle sections, I just put all my finger wipes in here because this is going to be covered later. So I just go through and smooth it all. I'm going to lay this down flat on carpet so the paint doesn't get messed up. Then I'm going to put a couple beams across this top piece of metal. And then I'm going to put 2 containers full of water on here. So I'm going to create a couple 100 pounds of pressure down between this piece of metal and the base. And what will happen is these will squeeze together and this bead will come out. I'm going to leave that in place and just let it cure that way. The cure on this stuff is really slow. It's like 5 to 7 days, but afterwards it's never going to move again. So I make sure I get this lined up nice. All this extra stuff now, I just smear through here because this will be covered later. This will also help the adhesive I'm going to put on here to stick to it rather than sticking to this paint, even though I've cleaned this already. So then after 5 or 7 days, this will be bonded forever and it'll be really, really quiet. Then I'm going to Herculine this and then paint it. Put in my insulation and then the hood goes back in and it'll look gorgeous, and it'll also be really good for the hood. And later with the nice final paint job, the engine heat will never cook through again because all the heat will reflect back off here because this will be foil insulation. So that's how I do this. Hope it helps. Okay, bye. Okay, so now it's all lined. Every seam and every seal is lined with the Loctite S30 from Proline PL. So it's all sealed up with polyurethane. Now I'm going to lay it flat and put some weight on the top piece of metal so it clamps together and let it sit for 5 or 6 days. Then it should be good. Just make sure when you finish and you smooth it, make sure you smooth it so your coating later doesn't show bumps and everything else. So there it is. And to clean your hands, you have to use xylene because it's a mess. Okay, now I've laid the hood down on some shipping pads and some rubber padding on the wood, so it's protected on the bottom side. The top side, now I've put a couple cross beams that are on that higher piece of metal and then some flat boards. Now I'm going to start stacking weight on top of there, and that should distribute the weight center, so it should press everything down into a nice clamp. Okay, now I've totally weighted it down. I started with 10 gallons of water in buckets, then the milk carton that's got chains and stuff in it, then some more containers of water and some filled with sand. So I've got well over 100 pounds, probably 150, 200 pounds pressing down on that, so that'll act as a weight clamp. So what should be happening is, you can see right here the metal has come down because now I have a rounded bead that's coming out. So now I'm going to let that cure, and 6 days from now it'll be perfect. There it is.